India is the fourth largest consumer of electricity in the world. India also ranks third in the global renewable energy attractiveness index. So India definitely has a lot of focus on the renewable energy segment. And in fact, we must have all seen that in the last 1 year, renewable energy, green energy, solar power, wind power, these stocks have rallied the most and have been the investor favorite. In this video, we are going to dig deep into the renewable energy segment, understand the whole value chain, understand the dynamics of some of the stocks in this segment. The future of renewable energy looks very bright, and we should all get an understanding of this new segment in the Indian market. India right now has a renewable energy capacity of 119 gigawatts, and the plan from the government is to issue an additional 50 gigawatt of energy capacity to the renewable segment in this financial year. The Indian government has a target of reaching 500 gigawatts of renewable energy capacity by 2030. So they literally want to take their capacity 5 times in the next 6 years. But right now, fossil fuels dominate the power split. 80% of the energy capacity is there with the fossil fuel industry. Coal has a capacity of 49%, oil around 20%, and then you have natural gas at 9%. But renewable energy is emerging and it is giving good competition to the traditional segment. So some of the leading sources of renewable energy in India are solar, and India is a prime space for solar energy because we are in a huge sunshine segment. We get sunshine all year long, and we have a lot of potential to generate solar energy. India has a vast coastline and lot of space to generate wind-based energy, and with all the new technological advances and manufacturing advances happening in India, this whole segment is going to emerge as an attractive segment in the power generation space. Finally, hydropower is an existing source of energy that is widely used in India already, and we see this space also grow rapidly in the next few years. Now let's understand what are the trends that are driving this segment, right? So the first trend is the transition to renewables. The government has a big focus on transitioning the energy source to renewable energy, and companies are also increasingly adapting towards the renewable energy sources. Secondly, energy storage is a big opportunity. Renewable energy can be intermittent, it's not fixed source of energy. So a lot of work needs to be done on energy storage and the other mechanics around it. Companies like GSW Energy are investing a lot of resources in this segment. Finally, power generation cannot happen without transmission and distribution. So there's a lot of work and a lot of growth that is happening in the transmission distribution segment as well. In the next section of the video, we are going to understand the value chain of all of these segments and identify some of very interesting companies in each of these segments. Now let's quickly understand the value chain of the green energy segment. The first part is the power generation. So power generation, like we discussed, happens through solar power, through wind energy, or through hydropower. There is also biogas and nuclear power, which is part of this value chain. Secondly, there is transmission and distribution. What that means is after power is generated, it has to be transmitted to remote location, it has to be distributed towards the urban population. There has to be so much technical know-how in the whole process. There are transformers, there are transmitters, there are towers, switch gears, and so much else. And finally, there is energy storage, like we said. So the third part of the value chain is energy storage, where this energy also has to be stored because the generation is intermittent and also, stored before the distribution can happen to the wider public. Now let's come to the interesting part. What are the opportunities and the stocks that we can invest into in this segment? So let's take it step by step. The first segment that we'll talk about is the solar power generation segment. In the solar power generation segment, there are two segments of companies that we will look at. First is the solar panel manufacturers. Second is the installation and distribution companies in the solar power segment. Solar panels are of different categories. There are photovoltaic cells, there are glass-based panels, and so much more. And here we have a leading name called Waaree Energies, which is a stock listed on the BSE, which has been a standout stock in the last 1 year. In fact, if you look at the charts for Waaree Energies, you would see that the stock has trended more than 900% in the last 1 year, and it continues to be extremely strong. Along with it, you have companies like Tata Power, which are investing a lot in solar panel manufacturing, and there are a lot of unlisted players also that are present in the solar panel segment of the green energy segment. Now, after the solar panels are manufactured, there are companies that are involved in the installation and development of solar farms, right? So these companies do solar power generation at larger scales, right? They will help set up larger plants, they will source material and develop these solar farms. So in this segment of installation and development, we have a number of interesting stocks. So Vari obviously is a well-known name in this segment, which has rallied 900%, but then you also have stocks like KPI Green, which has rallied 300%. Along with it, you have Sterling and Wilson, you had Swellex as a company which has been doing extremely well, and obviously there's a well-known name called Adani Green here as well. So, if you look at the performance of each of these stocks, the performance definitely stands out in the last 1 year. And the momentum continues to be strong, talking about the future potential of each of these stocks. Now let's talk about the second segment in the power generation space, which is wind energy. In wind energy, there are again two categories. One is the wind turbine manufacturers, and second is the wind farm installation and development companies. Now, in the wind turbine manufacturing segment, you have a couple of very interesting names. You have Inox Wind, this stock which has rallied more than 300%. And again, Suzlon, which has been a very high momentum stock, part of many portfolios, is also part of the wind turbine manufacturing segment. Along with it, there are various ancillaries in this space also. Stocks like Sundaram Fasteners, Sangvi Movers, Harsha Engineering, a number of these stocks help wind turbine manufacturers with their manufacturing products. Now, after turbines, there is wind farm installation and operators, right? So again, you have stocks like Inox Wind and Suzlon, which are well-known names there. But apart from them, you have bigger names there as well. So stocks like JSW Energy, Tata Power, and even NTPC are part of the wind farm installation and operator segment. And we have seen a very strong growth throughout this whole set of wind energy stocks. Finally, let's talk about the third segment in power generation, which is hydropower. In hydropower, some very large names, again, which have done extremely well. So a stock like SJVN has been an investor favorite. It has rallied more around 300% in the last 1 year, and it is highly involved in the hydropower segment. Then you have these well-known names like NHPC, NTPC, and Tata Power, which are actually part of the hydropower segment as well. Now let's look at the second part of the value chain, which is transmission, distribution, and storage. So after this power has been generated through these solar, wind, and hydropower plants, it has to be distributed. And the first part of the value chain is the transmission towers. So the transmission towers, these big towers that you see, when you're traveling in the rural areas, they're a key part of the energy infrastructure. Power after generation has to be taken out to remote locations, to a wide range of areas, and transmission towers play a very important role in that. In this segment, you have a lot of other interesting stocks like Skipper Technologies, Kalpataru Power, and even larger names like Tata Power, Adani Power, NTPC, Power Grid play a very important role in the transmission segment of renewable energy. Now, the second part of transmission and distribution is the transformers. So after the power has been generated, it just cannot be directly sent to the consumers. It has to be transformed into different voltages. So once power is generated with a very high voltage, it is transformed into lower voltage power and given out to different locations. So here you have the other set of interesting stocks which are manufacturing these transformers. Now, in the transformer segment, we have some very well sought out names. So stocks like Trill, right? Transformer and Rectifier Industry of India, that one, has been a big investor favorite. This stock, in fact, has rallied 800% in the last 1 year. Along with Trill, you also have Shill, which again has been a very high performer stock in the last 1 year. Along with these smaller names, you have stocks like BHEL, which are part of the segment. Along with this, we have stocks like Voltam, Apar Industries, Havels, Power Grid, Siemens, ABB, some of the most best performing stocks, which are larger companies which do play an important role in the renewable energy transformer manufacturing. A lot of interesting stocks, and as you can see, these stocks have been part of the trend in the recent times. Now, after transformer, there is something called switchgears. Switchgears are like a traffic police of energy. There are a number of switchgear manufacturers that are there in the market. Here you will again hear of these interesting names like Siemens, L&T, Schneider, NCC, Power India, SBCL, which are some of the most well sought names in the switchgear segment. Now, after switchgears, there comes these smart meters. Because renewable energy is intermittent, you do need strong meters to control the flow of energy. In this segment, stock like Siemens, HPL Energy, Genus Power, and so many more play an important role in the smart meter manufacturing. And again, if you go and check, these stocks have been some of the best performer stocks in the recent times. Let's talk about the stocks in the storage segment. In the storage segment, again, you have NTPC, NHPC, Exide, BHEL, Amara Raja Batteries, you have JSW Energy, L&T, which are crucial parts of energy storage. After storage, there is a big demand of wires, right? Wires are the things that connect the whole infrastructure, whole power infrastructure. In the wire segment, we all know of these well-known names like Polymed, KEI Energies, Finolex Cables, Havels, and so many more. So the power infrastructure, along with the renewable power, seems to be the trend in the recent times. Now that was about the stocks in the renewable power segment. Let's understand what are the key risks and opportunities in this segment. So the renewable power definitely seems to be a big focus area by the Indian government. There are a number of schemes that are being launched. There are solar rooftop schemes, there are subsidies, there are green tariff policies, and so many more initiatives that the Indian government is taking. There is smart grid initiative, there is renewable power auctions, and so many more initiatives that the government is taking. But obviously, this segment also doesn't come with its own set of risks. So it's a very resource heavy segment. There's a lot of infrastructure that you need to develop renewable power. So that is a big constraint that these companies have. And secondly, the resources, the solar, wind, as well as the hydroelectric power tends to be fluctuating, right? It's not fixed. So that fluctuation is also part of this segment. Along with it, you need a lot of land. So land acquisition is a constraint. Building this huge infrastructure has a lot of resource constraint. Also, the policy and regulatory uncertainty can be a constraint on this segment. There is a lot of manufacturing dependence as well as a lot of need for capital to build this whole infrastructure. There will be a lot of opportunities in this segment as well. There will be job creation, infrastructure development, and there will be a lot of good that we will do for the environment. Emissions will be reduced and we will contribute to the reduction of climate change. A lot of foreign investors are interested in renewable energy stocks, and that should also get a lot of investments coming into the Indian market, and it is a big positive overall. There is big opportunity out in this segment. Like we said, India is aiming to have a 500 gigawatt capacity by 2030. And so many new technologies are also evolving. You have things like green hydrogen, battery storage, and even offshore wind, which are emerging areas in this segment. And as we navigate these different opportunities and risks that this segment presents, I'm sure as investors in the stock market, we will see some amazing growth stories and some amazing stocks to pick out from. So I hope this video was useful for you in understanding the green energy segment in India, understanding the value chain, understanding the set of stocks that form a part of the green energy push. If you liked our video on the green energy segment, please do hit the like button and comment if this was useful for you, and do share it across with your friends and family. You can follow our channel for more information. We will see you in the next video. Till then, happy investing, and do focus on the renewable segment as well.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.